All right, third time. Let's go. Passive and active transport. Passive transport doesn't use energy. And you know what? Cells actually takes advantage of this and uses this to transport stuff in and out of cells. So you know what? They're pretty smart. The first type, simple diffusion, is the movement of a substance from an area of high concentration to an area of low concentration. And remember, this is the movement of any substance, could be a gas or liquid or a solid. For example, you can have uh, a chamber with more gas in it next to a chamber with less gas in it. When you open a hole between these two chambers, the gas in both rooms are going to balance out. So the room with more gas is going to give some of the gas to the room with less gas. So that's a simple example. And the second one is osmosis. This is diffusion of water through a selectively permeable membrane. This definition has two important parts. First is diffusion of water, not anything else different to the first one. And secondly, it's through a selectively permeable membrane. And a selectively permeable membrane is, for example, the membrane of a cell. So that's why I said cells use this to transport a substance. And this can happen in two ways. And we're going to talk about that in this example. If a cell is in a power cell, it is in a hypertonic environment because there is more amount of solid outside of the membrane. And same thing, if a cell is in pure water, it is in a hypotonic environment because there is less amount of solid outside the membrane. And if the cell is in, for example, salt water that has same amount of solute, same concentration of solute as the cell, is going to be in an isotonic environment, and there's going to be no net transport of substance of water. Third one is facilitated diffusion, and this is the diffusion of substance through an integral protein. And what an integral protein is one of these things. So integral basically means that goes throughout. And when we're looking for integral proteins, we're looking for the big boys that goes throughout the width of the phospholipid bilayer. And hopefully we'll get into this later. But now all you need to know is that substance can travel through one of the channel proteins because it has special size or special shape that makes it having to go through one of these. And this also doesn't use any ATP at all. After finishing up with passive transport, we move down to active transport. And this is really easy. The first type is pump, and a pump protein will look something like a channel protein. It's also integral protein that goes throughout the width of the bilayer. So what's going to happen is the pump protein is going to use some ATP to pump the substance against the concentration gradient. And the second and the third are pretty similar. One is called endocytosis, and another one is called exocytosis. What's going to happen in endocytosis is that the membrane is going to, open up a little space for the substance that it's going to intake. So it's going to kind of wrap itself around the substance and then just swallow it. It's like a gharial, but something like that. And exocytosis is the reverse of endocytosis. What's going to happen is, you know what, let's find a picture right here. Nope, right here. Exocytosis. So something like this. A space is going to form inside the cell, and when this goes to the edge, it's like a water bubble, right? That goes to the surface. So one removes and one intakes. So let's review the three types of passive transport and active transport. Passive transport, first one, simple diffusion. Second, osmosis. Third, facilitated diffusion. Active transport, first pump. Second, endocytosis. Third, exocytosis. Well, that's pretty simple stuff, and hopefully we'll get into something a little more complicated later. Anyways, happy New Year, happy 2020, and enjoy your day.